Welcome to True Crime with Strategic Eyes.
Strategic back again. What's going on, guys? Hope you're having a great weekend. Welcome to another edition of True Crime Strategic. I got to go to work, but I was like, you know what? Let me sneak in the show real quick because I want to update you guys on a story that we've been following. We haven't heard anything about it since we kind of like started our first volley of shows on this topic, but we have gotten some updates. I want to bring it to your attention because I don't want to forget about this story. I definitely don't want to forget about this story. This story is important, and we need to get justice. But justice is kind of tricky in this one because a lot of people will listen to the allegations of what happened to this very young victim, and they will want vengeance, okay? And typically Strategic is all about fire, brimstone, and vengeance. But unfortunately, the perpetrators in this case are so young, I don't think vengeance is what we need. Maybe the mother can ask for that. That's her right, you know, but that doesn't mean we have to listen to her. As a society, we're supposed to detach ourselves from the suffering of the victims so that we can make sound and just decisions on what exactly is justice. And in this case, I don't think that the solution is to just throw away the perpetrators. Why? Because the perpetrators are so very young in this case. What they did is horrendous, and they certainly have to pay a price for it. But the question is, what is that price? And I just don't feel, maybe it's the father in me, that the price is to throw them away. We got to find something that removes them from society, because without treatment, they are definitely a danger to society. But at the same time, we need to, like I said, have some type of treatment and rehabilitation for these young perpetrators so that they can grow up to be functional members of our society. We are failures if we just throw them away and we just lock them up and try and pretend like they never existed. I think we're better than that as a society. So let's jump you guys in here. The news will hopefully give you guys an update on what the case is all about. It's been a little while, and then I'll give you guys an update and I'll get the hell out of here, right? So let's jump into this. Big shout out to everybody who's joining us today. Please make sure that you hit that like button as we go on this journey. Hit that like button, support the channel so we can get into the algorithm and be seen by a wider audience. Let's do it.
Felonious assault, kidnapping, and strangulation of a 5-year-old. Those are the charges a 10-year-old faced today in court. Good evening, I'm Katie Usen.
And I'm Tara Morgan. News 5's Nadine Abusada was there for the arraignment. At this time, we are not showing or naming the children involved due to their age.
This type of behavior doesn't deserve grace. They knew what they were doing, and they was okay with that. They even play after not caring about my baby.
For the first time since Antavia, Kennebrew says her 5-year-old daughter was assaulted in a field.
First of all, before she continues, I want to once again give a big shout out to this mother. She has been fighting for her daughter since day one. For those of you who don't know, she left her daughter with a trusted family member. And the reason why she left her daughter with a trusted family member, she had some type of medical procedure she had to get done, and she couldn't watch after her daughter while getting that procedure done. And for whatever reason, whatever negligence, notice I use the word negligence because I think there might be a little crime here, right? For whatever reason or whatever negligence, that relative did not properly supervise her daughter. And you know what? When you leave your child with somebody, whether it's a professional, a daycare, a school, or a family member, or a friend, or even a neighbor, those individuals are now allowing themselves to be legally responsible for your child. That may not be their kid, but they're assuming that responsibility of being legally responsible for your child. That person legally failed that child by not properly supervising that young person, which results in them sneaking out of the house and then being accosted first and then assaulted by these perpetrators. There's definitely some blame to go around here, but it's not with the mother. The blame squarely is with the parents of those perpetrators and that relative who was watching the victim. None of them did their job. Now, initially, the police told this mother, and I even agreed with it, guys, because based off of my experience, we would not have charged these young people with the charges that they were charged with here. Initially, law enforcement told this mother, we can't do anything about this. We're not going to charge these perpetrators. But she kept fighting fighting and putting the word out there and going on news channels and putting it out there to the point where people like myself and others on YouTube started covering her case, bringing more awareness to her case. And I think her fight for justice for her baby resulted in law enforcement and the district attorneys out there to change their mind and decide to take this case seriously and charge these perpetrators. So this mother is a true hero because she has never stopped fighting for her daughter. And because she fought so hard, now she has this opportunity to make this statement in a court of law advocating for justice for her daughter. God bless this woman. She's doing an amazing job. Let's keep going.
She sat in the same courtroom as the 10-year-old girl accused of the attack.
Since this horrific act was done to her, she just been going through it, and that's how it should be for her offenders.
Today, Judge Kristin Sweeney arraigned the 10-year-old girl who appeared in juvenile court with a mask and hooded puffy coat.
This is going to be a very short hearing where I'm going to go over your rights with you.
She faces a list of charges including attempted murder, rape, felonious assault, kidnapping, and strangulation.
We have filed a...
First of all, this little girl needs to get help. But we got to ask ourselves, why would a 10-year-old girl participate in that type of behavior? I think when we pull back the veil on the full picture of what happened here, I think this young person, and it doesn't in any way alleviate what they did to somebody else, but I think they've been victimized in their life. There's no way on this green earth, unless she's a rare commodity of a socio-psychopath, that a 10-year-old is going to enact these type of actions against somebody else unless those very same things were enacted against them. We just don't make kids that way. We don't build them. The good Lord doesn't build them that way. That level of corruption usually comes from man. And if this is one of those rare instances, then we definitely need to lock her up so we could study her. She needs to be studied, because this would be one of those rare instances when somebody is just born without any morality. I guarantee you, that person that those little hands belong to, those little cute hands that you think would be a beautiful little, wonderful little girl who ends up actually being a monster, I guarantee you somebody made her that way. She didn't choose to be that way. She was made that way. And I think we need to acknowledge that, and we need to explore that as well, because just as much as this young person needs to be in juvenile and needs to see therapy and needs to see doctors and maybe take some medications to be a better human being and one day be a functional member of our society, just like we need to focus on her, there's probably some grown man or some grown boy that needs to be spending the next 25 years of his life in prison for what he did to her. I don't just want justice, ladies and gentlemen. I want 360 justice. I want everybody to go down who had a hand in creating this situation. Everybody. Let's keep going.
Competency motion, as we do have significant concerns for her ability to understand the statutory language of the complaint, as well as her legal rights in the proceedings today.
While the judge granted that motion, the prosecution asked that the 10-year-old be placed on house arrest with an ankle monitor.
They should not get grace or a break to return home and get prepared for their life to change, because not only did they been given enough time already, nothing prepare my baby for her life to be changed. She didn't get time.
The defense argued against the ankle monitor, referencing court Monday, where they said the child has faced threats at school, crowds at her home, and that the family has since moved for safety reasons.
If she is put on ankle monitor, that will become public knowledge. And if that is, and if someone figures out where she is living and they know that she is court ordered to be there, that could pose a potential safety risk to her and her family.
But Judge Sweeney ordered that house arrest and an ankle monitor are necessary.
Of course, because she's a danger to society right now. She's proved it. Look, a 5-year-old wanders out of the house, and rather than they find that 5-year-old playing hopscotch with her or patty cake or basketball, they find that 5-year-old in a field after having been assaulted in every way by this perpetrator. So yeah, she's a danger to society. As much as I want her to get help, I would not trust her around any of my kids. Even my soon to be 18-year-old, I wouldn't trust her with. She's a monster. I wouldn't trust her with myself. I'll probably fall asleep and wake up with a knife to my neck or something like that. She's a danger to society. So yeah, absolutely, the need for us to stay safe from her until she gets the help that she needs far outweighs whatever she may feel because she's got an ankle monitor on and people might find out where she's living. Well, you know what? Don't do the crime. You won't have to do the time. People won't have to know where you're living. But let's keep going.
One is the serious nature of these charges. Secondly, and I'm just going to note this for the record, we don't have a parent present in court today for MH. And so I am not sure what the living circumstances are outside of what was discussed in the closure hearing.
So what's next?
Her parent didn't show up. She was there by herself. Her parent was not there. Wow. And we wonder, like I told you guys, we always talk about this on this show, like clockwork. What makes the monster? Monsters just aren't made. They are bred. They are nurtured. They are created, molded. What made the monster? They don't just pop out of nowhere. Her own mother or father was not even present. And we wonder, why is this 10-year-old so wayward? Wow. Let's keep going.
Next, the 10-year-old girl will now undergo a competency evaluation, and there will be a hearing to follow. Now, regarding the 9-year-old boy accused as well, he did not appear in court today due to a family member having car issues. His hearing was rescheduled to next week. Now, if he doesn't appear again, the judge will issue a warrant for his arrest. Reporting in Cleveland, Nadina Busada, News 5.
Wow, that is insane. I want to go over here to this one over here. Somebody asked who would monitor the ankle monitor. That would be a probation department. It's always probation department in America. All right. Spirit Seeker Squad. All right, let's keep going. Just to answer that question, that is. All right. Wow. One more. Let's do it. And then we'll read the article and I get out of here. It's not going to be a long live at all, ladies and gentlemen. Want to get the facts to you. And then I got to get ready to go to work.
She says her 5-year-old daughter was beaten, abused, and traumatized.
So the first one we saw was the update. This one's going to be a little bit of both, but also a lot of backstory. All right. So I'm going to get you guys that backstory. Let's do it.
I'm Katie Houston.
And I'm Damon Maloney. We first learned about this after receiving multiple phone calls and emails about a Facebook post detailing the violent attack.
News 5's Nadine Abusada sat down with that mother who wants everyone, Nadine, to know what happened to her daughter.
Katie, Damon.
And listen, this is going to get not monetized. I already know. Every time I cover this story specifically, especially when a mother explains what happened, it's too much for YouTube. I just want to throw it out there. It is what it is. Guys, please make sure you hit that like button. We have almost 200 people watching this live stream right now. We need that support. Hit that like button. Let's get it up there so we get in that algorithm. It's the only reason why we ask. So if you're watching this and you're a fan of the show and you're not hitting the like button, you're basically saying, I don't want your show to go anywhere. I'm selfish. I just want you all for myself, strategic. You handsome, beautiful man. I want you all for myself. That's basically what you're saying. Because the only way this show gets into the algorithm to be shown to a wider audience outside of my subscription base is by you hitting that like button and commenting in the chat. Listen, I know I am a sexy piece of chocolate, but please share me with the whole world. That's every man's dream. Share me with the world. I'm just joking. Let's keep going.
We want to warn those that are watching that what you're about to hear and see may be graphic and disturbing as a mother demands answers and justice for her daughter. She a mini you.
Yeah, she literally will crack you up. Like, she's so proper, the way she talks, everything about her is just like bubbly.
When talking about her 5-year-old daughter, and Tavia Kennebrew lights up.
She is very, very affectionate.
But sadly, that joyful spirit
It was horrible.
is broken.
The bubbly 5-year-old. And I know she was not there no more.
We're not naming the child or showing her face because she is a minor.
Right.
But this horrific story begins on September 13th. And Tavia says she left her 5-year-old daughter at a family member's house. Then she got a call. Her daughter was missing. When she arrived, the little girl was already in an ambulance.
I could not recognize my daughter. Her hair was ripped out of her head. She had blood and bruises all over her.
Wow. Look at that. Look at that. This is supposed to be filled with hair right here. This is supposed to be filled with hair. They basically scalped her. They basically scalped her. This is actions beyond. Listen, I grew up in the bowels of the hood. The bowels of the hood. I done seen all kinds of stuff. There's a few things that stick with me that I don't even know why it sticks with me, but I think it's trauma. I was very young and I watched a guy named Knowledge. And Knowledge ended up dying in Rikers Island. He was beaten to death by correction officers. I'm not sure if it was found to be justified or not justified. But when I heard that Knowledge was beaten to death by correction officers, I celebrated. And the reason why I celebrate, if there's anybody who's relatives to Knowledge who's watches right now, I apologize, but please hear me out. The reason why I celebrated was trauma. Because when I was a young boy, I watched Knowledge have a fight in the lobby of the projects with another man. And he body slammed the man and the man was knocked out. And Knowledge looked at the man for like 30 seconds. And then he raised his leg up so slowly. And then he stomped on the guy's head. And the guy's head bounced like 6 times like a basketball. And then all I heard was crack like an egg. And then just blood just spilling out. So slowly, so deep, so red. And I never forgot that to this day. And I've seen people in so many different manners of death as a police officer. But for some reason, even though I've seen so many more gruesome situations, I never forget what Knowledge did to that man. Maybe because he was so helpless and I watched it from beginning to end. So I was happy when Knowledge died because I felt that Knowledge was the most evil person I've ever seen in my life. And that may not even be true. That's my trauma talking. I've seen so many things, but I've never seen kids do what these kids did to this girl. I've never seen that before. I've seen girls fight before. I've never seen them scalp another girl, literally pull a hair out from the roots to the extent by which they've done this to this girl. This is a level of barbarity I have never witnessed. And unfortunately, when you grow up poor, you witness a lot. And that tells me, as I said before, that these perpetrators have to have been victims themselves in order for them to be able to imagine being able to do something as gruesome as what they did to this beautiful girl. But let's keep going.
Her nails was filled in dirt and she was unresponsive.
Tavia says her daughter was taken to a wooded area where a group of children attacked her. The allegations, which include sexual assault, are too disturbing to share with you.
That is so evil. It's so evil.
News 5 reached out to Cleveland police regarding this incident. What can you tell me about this investigation involving a 5-year-old allegedly being assaulted?
It is an active investigation that the Cleveland Division of Police is conducting at this time.
In a statement, the department confirmed that the Sex Crimes and Child Abuse Unit is actively investigating a case involving multiple children under the age of 10, both as victims and as suspects.
And we have to protect the rights that the victims have, just as well as the suspects in these cases.
And Tavia says her daughter spent about a week in the hospital. The moment she opened her eyes,
she was screaming. When she woke up, she said they killed me. She thought she was dead. Oh my God.
Did you hear that? Think about that. You're this mother. Baby girl's in maybe a coma, induced coma. I don't know. But she's not waking up for a whole week. And then she wakes up. And she wakes up still believing she's in that nightmare. She wakes up still believing she's in the midst of that attack. And then when she comes to and she realizes she's in a safe space and her mother's there and she's in a hospital, what does she say? She says, they killed me. That 5-year-old thought that she died. 5-year-olds should not even understand the concept of death. These young people taught that 5-year-old what it means to no longer live. Unbelievable. Somebody taught them that, ladies and gentlemen.
The memories came flooding back.
To hear your baby say that she did, what? A 5-year-old shouldn't even know that word.
Wow.
Like,
how is she now?
She's struggling mentally and behaviorally. She say things that she never said before. More violent, more suicidal things.
She says now Her focus is on just two.
Sometimes when I hear people talk about these things, I always, I'm a very skeptical person. I'm like, oh, this person is gassing it. Like we say in New York City, they juicing it. I believe every word this woman is saying. Every single word she's saying is the truth. Whatever she said she heard her little girl say, that is the truth. That little girl is going to need extensive therapy, extensive support from her community and her family at large. She is going to need a whole village to bring her back. That moment has imprinted on her soul. And we got to exercise that trauma. And it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of money. And I'm so sad that she had to go through that. And all I want to know as a detective is who made the monster. I'm telling you, somebody made that monster. Let's keep going.
Making sure her daughter heals and getting justice.
You posted about it. Why? Why did you want to speak out regarding what happened to your daughter?
Because I needed justice for my daughter.
So when you say justice, what does that look like?
Everybody involved in the pain that was inflicted on my daughter, they get what they deserve.
Look at that.
As of now, no charges have been filed in this case, and Cleveland police reiterate that it is still under investigation. For Antavia, she has legal representation, and she plans to keep fighting until she gets justice. Damon, Katie, truly a heartbreaking story.
Nadine, disturbing to hear, and we know you'll continue to follow through.
All right, so I'm going to read the article. It's going to give us just a little bit more detail than what these videos gave us, and then we'll call it a day. Thank you so much for your patience, guys. I know it's a heavy one. Sometimes it's hard for you guys to get through the heavy ones, but we need to do this. We need to bring a voice to the voiceless. The only reason why these perpetrators are being charged is because this mother had the courage to keep fighting for her daughter. And by extension, shows like this and others, we're not the only one, shows like this and others had the courage to speak on this, even though it hurts us on YouTube. We're still speaking on it. YouTube does not monetize this. They don't want you to talk about these type of cases because it's not advertiser friendly. I guess you can't hear me say the story I told you about Knowledge, my personal story, and then have, I don't know, a tampon commercial after that. I don't know, I only said it because I got a largely female audience, or whatever, a motorcycle commercial. A lot of ladies starting to write motorcycles for some strange reason. I don't know, maybe that, I don't know what, I can't even begin to presume to understand what motivates YouTube, but that is what motivates YouTube, money. All right. So let's keep going. All right. Cleveland, 10-year-old girl accused of assaulting a 5-year-old was arraigned Wednesday morning in juvenile court before Judge Kristin Sweeney. The arraignment of the 9-year-old boy, who also stands accused, has been delayed until next week. I think there were more than that. There were like 4 kids, but I think the other ones are so young that they're not going to charge them. So the ones that are being charged are the oldest, right? The 9 and the 10-year-olds. Keep going. During the hearing, the defense for the 10-year-old girl filed a motion requesting competency evaluation, citing concerns that the child may not fully understand the proceedings. Judge Sweeney granted the motion. The girl appeared in court wearing a mask and coat while accompanied by a family member. So I think this is not correct because the judge said that no family member was in there. If a family member was there, they would have interjected the judge and say, I'm here. I'm her mom. I'm her dad. I'm a cousin. I'm a third cousin from her mother's side who was best friends with somebody. And we call each other cousins because we're really cool friends. Nobody said that when the judge said, is there a family member here for this girl? So that is not true. That's inaccurate reporting on Channel 5 News. Let's keep going. The prosecution requested that the girl be placed on house arrest with an ankle monitor, especially at the point when the judge said, how am I supposed to put her on ankle monitor or send her back home when there's nobody here for her, which makes me question her home life. So we know for a fact nobody was there because somebody's like, no, I'm here. Send her home. I'm here. We could take care of her. Nobody said anything. Nobody was there with that girl. Let's keep going. Antavia Kennebrew, the mother of the 5-year-old victim, spoke in court opposing any form of controlled release for the accused. She argued that her daughter was not shown mercy during the assault and that the defendants should not be given leniency now. Big shout out to Spirit Seeker Squad with a 199 super sticker saying thanks. Thank you so much for your generosity. I appreciate you. At least we got one sponsor of the show. We're certainly not gonna get nothing from YouTube. So we appreciate your sponsor. You're not. That's not even a super chat. That's a sponsorship. So thank you for sponsoring us, Spirit Seeker Squad. We appreciate you. The defense argued against the ankle monitor, referencing court proceedings on Monday, where it was discussed that the child has faced threats at school, crowds at her home, and that the family has since moved for safety reasons. Let's keep going. If she is put in an ankle monitor, that will become public knowledge. If that is, and if someone figures out where she is living and they know that she is court ordered to be there, that that could pose a potential safety risk to her and her family, said Caitlin Iodine, an attorney with the public defender's office representing the 10-year-old. Judge Sweeney ruled the house arrest with an ankle monitor was necessary. Let's keep going. One is the serious nature of these charges. Generally speaking, I can't really imagine circumstances in which these would be the charges, and I would not release with some sort of court supervision, Sweeney said, adding, secondly, I'm just going to note this for the record. We don't have a parent present in court today for the child, and so I'm not sure what the living circumstances are outside of what was discussed in the closer hearing. Wow, see? The judge just said it. Big shout out to Lady E. Portland with 1 gift membership. Whoever got that membership, please thank Miss Portland. Let's keep going. The 9-year-old boy did not appear because his family member had car trouble. His arraignment was rescheduled for next week. Sweeney said that if he fails to appear at the next hearing, a warrant will be issued for his arrest. The charges. On October 15th, Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office announced that the 10-year-old girl and a 9-year-old boy were charged with allegedly assaulting a 5-year-old girl in a wooded area off East 148th Street in September. Big shout out to Lasagna Lemonade, another sponsor of the show. Today is sponsors because we're not monetized on this bad boy. $2 sponsor. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super sticker. You are amazing. They were charged with 1 count of attempted murder, 4 counts of R-word, 2 counts of felonious assault, 1 count of kidnapping, and 1 count of strangulation. What happened? 5-year-old's mother, Antavia Canabrew, said she dropped her daughter off at a family member's home on September 13th. Later that day, she received a phone call informing her that her daughter had left the house on her own and was missing. That person should be arrested. I'm sorry. That family member should be arrested. If you're listening to the show right now, which you probably are because there aren't that many shows that's covering this case, I want to say to the mother, you are a hero and I'm proud of you and I love you as a fellow human being, and I want you to keep up the good work advocating for your daughter. To that family member who allowed that little girl to slip out of that house unsupervised, you should go to jail. You should go to jail. You are part of the problem. You should have never decided to watch that young kid if you weren't prepared to give them your full attention and to make sure that they return to their parent the same manner and the same state that they were dropped off to you. You should go to jail. Let's keep going. The specifics of the assaults are too disturbing to share, but details in the police report support Cannabrew's claim that her daughter was viciously attacked. Wow. Big shout out to everybody who's watching. Over 250 people watching us right now. Please hit that like button. Kennebrew said she met her daughter after the incident in an ambulance, and the girl was unconscious and covered in dirt, blood, and bruises. Wow. Terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. I think they even urinated on her. Let's throw that in the mix. Let's just get all the facts. Let's get all the facts out there. Anyway, this one's a tough one, but we do like the direction that it's going. It looks like justice is moving, but I want to definitely impress upon people, it's easy for us to just say, throw these kids away and throw the key away and pretend like they never existed. Number one, because of their age, the most that they would do anyway is until they're 21 years old in prison. Eventually, they're going to come back out in our society, whether we like it or not. Eventually, that 10-year-old is going to end up being a mom. Eventually. We all know how the worst people always make kids. They always do. So eventually she's going to be a mom. So rather than we just throw them away and throw the keys away, how about we also talk about the fact that we need to rehabilitate them? As much as we need to provide services for the victim to make sure that the victim can learn to manage this trauma, we need to also say to ourselves that these kids aren't throwaways. They need to be incarcerated in juvenile, but they also need to get help. And that's my position, at least. The fire and brimstone guy. Big shout out to Rudy and Son Collectibles with a $4 super sticker. Thank you so much. Another sponsor of the show today. Thank you so much for showing us love and helping us keep this show going. All right, guys. I see you guys on the next one. This one was a great one. I appreciate you guys immensely. Make sure that I gave everybody a shout out who supported the channel. And I did. So that being said, make sure you hit the like button on your way out the door. We'll see you guys on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace. Oh, hold on. Pause. Aki gave 5 gift memberships to 5 lucky people. Aki is our queen moderator. So definitely, Aki, thank you. That was very generous of you. Thank you for supporting the show. That is your baby as well. So we appreciate you. But yeah, say thank you to Aki, whoever was lucky enough to get a taste of that 5 gift membership. All right, guys. See you guys on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace.